Are you ready, kids?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Dave Drakes, and we're back with your favorite podcast in the entire motocross and supercross racing world. It is Inside the Rig, the team Unfiltered, and I'm joined by your favorite privateer racer, the one and only Mr. Cade Clason. What's up, dude?
Dave Lee, how we digging, sir? Your intro was very good, especially with my little addition I did there for you.
And the SpongeBob hopefuls are going to be very excited for that one. So we're going to get a nice uptick on
It's
that
a
one.
weird. You know what's strange is Sarah doesn't like any shows, like really at all. But like for some reason, her and like her close friends quote SpongeBob like it's going out of style. I think it's because they're all 35 and SpongeBob was the shit when they were, growing up.
Wow, yeah.
But
Mary just hates everything. She wasn't allowed to watch anything as a kid, so she just hates everything. So I don't have an
kids
issue.
who weren't allowed to watch SpongeBob are usually weird.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude.
So
yeah,
I don't think I've ever met Mary, but now I don't know if I want to.
You don't, because she's not into SpongeBob. So like, that's all you need to know, dude. It's like if you're not in SpongeBob, you're not in the cool kids club.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong with you.
Something's wrong.
Most likely.
Yeah, we gotta berate her and do some other stuff. Whatever.
Yeah, apparently.
she's gonna kill me. Yeah, dude, we're back. I was off for 1 week, getting busy. You got busy the other week. So we had our.
I'm always getting busy, dude.
Oh, jeez, here we go. We had our man behind the scenes, Jackson, pop on. Hilarious. I genuinely listened to last week's, and I was cracking up, dude. So that was awesome.
Laughing?
I was laughing.
We should do a fan vote to see who we should vote off the island.
Cade. We should definitely vote Cade off the island.
Got it. I bet.
Dude, we had Philly. I'm going to start off by saying
We had Philly.
I'm not sad that I skipped that one because I absolutely despise mud races. I can't stand when it's cold and rainy. I was miserable last year at MetLife, so I'm very glad that I skipped this one. But we had some fireworks in both classes, and I got to give a round of applause to the PRMX boys.
What do you mean? We had 4 of 6 motorcycles in the main. That's not applause worthy.
Do you know how many teams weren't?
I don't know. Could you imagine how depressed I would have been had Chiz made the main and not me?
Also, how long before this weekend did you know that Chiz was going to be on the team?
Thursday night. No.
Oh,
no,
really?
Friday morning.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. I didn't know till Friday morning.
Okay, I was going to give you crap for not telling me, but you didn't know either.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, I knew Chiz had been riding. Our bike,
everybody knew that. Yeah,
just like testing some stuff. But he originally started doing stuff for our bike, and he was there one day when Cowie was at Chambers, testing, and Cowie's like, "Hey, we want you to test for us." So then he actually started working for Cowie,
and
so
they showed that on the broadcast too. Him like working with Chase.
Yep. And then. So yeah, then he started doing some stuff for us, back and forth, and then I don't know why he did it, but he did, and now I think he's gonna try and do the last 2. So yeah, it was odd. I found out in a group chat with like our privateer group chat. I found out in there. Someone asked because Chiz is in there.
Yep.
And Chiz didn't tell us, so. Yeah, it was an interesting thing, but whatever floats his boat, I guess. Father time.
No, dude, it was sick. So I didn't see anything until like whatever they did on press day, and to see like him with the PRMX logo and stuff, I was like, what? Wait, number one, is he back? And then he's on the PRMX team, and especially as a huge Chiz fan, dude, I was ecstatic. Rode the bike well, he looked comfortable, and dude, he chizzed, got in the main. I don't know how he does it. Sometimes it looks like he's going to be out of this thing, and On the last lap, the dude makes some moves, and there he is. So super dope to see. I do want to get into some of the racing drama, but let's talk about the track first because it looked like it would have been a pretty cool, fun, flowy track from a spectator's vantage point. What was it in your mind? Like, if we did not have the rain, was it going to shake up to be a pretty cool track? Did you like some of the obstacles?
The track was okay. Practice, it was pretty easy in practice. They rain prepped it, so they know when it's going to rain, right? And
Yeah.
they build everything kind of in a certain direction. So, like, the finish line was at least like 10 feet shorter than it should have been.
Yeah.
The other double, that was kind of before that split lane,
Yep.
was super flat and, probably also 10, 15 feet shorter than it normally would be. So it just made the track like really fast.
Yeah.
Practice was cool though, like being hard pack and dry, it made it kind of tricky. So it was its own unique little beast. The whoops were actually pretty gnarly. They were big and there was a lot of them. So it was cool to see the combination of both jumping and skimming and how equal they actually were. But it just sucks, like learning a track, figuring it out, putting in all the effort, taking all the risk to just go out there and double around all night long. Like that sucks.
That's why I don't like mud races. It's just it sucks that we have to do them. I mean, I know there's a counter argument to that where people say, hey, it's an equalizer. It mixes the season up a little bit, throws in like a monkey wrench. I don't like them. It takes away from the racing. Like you just said, it takes away from like what you guys do, the risk you put in week in, week out. It does not showcase all of you guys' skill. Like I don't. It's not a fun watch for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever, right? Like it was a proper mutter, I would say. At least it was better than the races where we're legitimately just rolling around out there. Like we were still having to jump some stuff, but it was relatively like it wasn't raining super hard. So like after practice, when it was super dry, they prepped everything really fast and packed it down as hard as they could. So then, like, you remember the first lap of the heat race, like, what was his name? Romano and Thrasher, like, they skimmed the whoops.
Yeah.
It looked
pretty small for those guys, yeah.
Yeah, but, like, it was once they started breaking through it and getting to, like, that underneath mud, and then, so it went, like, it was hard, and then it was, like, mud underneath. So, like, it went from, like, okay to terrible really fast. But then once we got through the mud to the hard stuff, it was actually like dry. Right before the 450 main, they completely redid the face of the finish line, like dug down like multiple inches, pushed all the mud off, and made like the finish line jumpable, which was sweet. It made the whole track so much better to be able to jump the finish line so easily too. Like I remember first lap, I was right behind Dino. And we all went down. We were in like a single file line, and I was in like I think like eighth, and I just jammed it into first. And I was like, if he goes, I'm going, like because I could tell like they prepped the berm. So I was like, because we didn't get a sight lap, so like I didn't know until the first lap of the main that they did that. So I was just like, here we go. Let's just pray we make it to the landing. And yeah, because like you land the finish line and it's mud again, berm, and you're just trying to find like that dry line. And the worst is like the first couple laps because it really wasn't raining that hard.
Yeah,
it was just like an annoying amount of rain. And so like once we started riding and we got like multiple lines moved in, the track was fine. It was just like you had to stay in that line. As soon as you got out of it, it was a disaster. So it was. I don't like mud races either, and I hate riding in the rain more than anything. Yeah. But that race was actually kind of fun. It really was.
Oh, okay.
The heat race was kind of fun. The worst part was in my heat race, I decided to wear roll-offs, even though I told myself I was going to save them for the main.
Okay.
And so I wore them, and then it stopped raining as soon as the gate dropped. So then with roll-offs, like when it's thick mud and not raining, the mud hits it, and then it pulls the film like off your lens, especially when you try to pull it off. So then it messes up the film. It has to actually be raining to wear roll-offs, which is part of the problem. So in the main, I built another set of roll-offs for the main, and I was standing with Chase and the Oakley guy in the tunnel, and I just was like overhearing them, and this dude was like flipping through weather apps, and because he was like trying to like help Chase decide what goggles to wear.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, we're going to do whatever he says to do. And he said, I think if it's not raining when the gate drops, you run tear-offs. And I was like, okay, that's what we're doing. So I just kind of finagled my way in there and got it done.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what prep looks like for a mud race for you. I know. I'm sure Steven was scrambling, trying to get that thing set for you. One thing that I noticed that was crazy glaring to me was we know what an animal, Webb, Cooper, who else? Roxon, like what a dynamo these guys are in the whoops, right? And yourself, I'd say you're pretty solid in the whoops. To watch the top three guys literally like paddle through the whoops, that was pretty telling to me. I'm like, okay, if these guys are having a paddle, this is probably some stuff that most people wouldn't want to walk through. What was that like for you, going not only trying to ride your race, but have to deal with that, deal with, the leaders on any given lap. What was that like having to navigate that? Because, dude, I mean, Kenny looked like he was like walking the bike, dude. I'm talking like PW50 class trying to get out of the gate. You know what I mean?
The whoops were definitely one of the worst parts. It's really hard to roll through whoops because the bottoms are so square. Mm-hmm. And then, like, that's why, okay, here's how race day works when it comes to whoops. Mm-hmm. You skim them because you can't jump them when they're brand new because the bottoms are like triangles. Yep. But then as you skim them, you take dirt off the face and it falls to the bottom. So then after the bottom kind of gets filled in, then you can start jumping them. Yeah. But so they had prepped the whoops obviously before the night show. So the bottoms got triangular again. Well, then it rained, and then the bottoms are all full of water, and then the face is muddy. So you're trying to roll these things, and every time you hit the bottom, you get this like weird unload. So then you're going up it, and your front wheel is super light, and when it's muddy, it just wants to go wherever it wants to go because you're trying to slow back down to roll down the next one. It's a nightmare. That's what happened. Honestly, what happened to me in the main. I think I'd passed Dino. I was in 6th or 7th, and I tried to come into the whoops a little bit faster and like power roll them, and I caught like a hard pack spot, and it went sideways, and then my rear tire was on one whoop and my front tire was on the next whoop, and I was falling over, and I couldn't reach the ground. I felt like Amart, like, so I was stuck, and I crashed, got back up in like 12th. So that sucked, but it's tough. And I think they made the right decision cutting out the second half of them. We only had to roll like, I think they left like 5 or 6.
5, yeah.
And then we had 3 like pretty big rollers, but it was kind of fun because if you like got a good drive, you could double the last 2 whoops, and then you could double the 2 rollers and then go one and then hit the berm at the end of the whoops got sick because it finally had traction with all the rain. Yeah. So it was kind of fun, to be honest. And they know in mud races, especially in Supercross, like they have to find ways for us to generate speed to keep our bikes cool. That's a big reason why they start taming the track down, especially in like super mudders. Isn't for us like safety wise or racing wise. It's they want us to finish the races. They want everyone to stay out there. They don't want a bunch of bikes blowing up. And, all of our bikes stay cool from air flowing through the radiators, obviously. So, yeah, it's just a part of it.
Who was blowing you up?
Oh, sorry. My head, I don't hear it. I just barely heard it.
I just keep
I got people
ding,
texting me.
Ding, zoo, zoo.
Sorry, my bad.
So
My bad.
popular. Yeah, no, it was really cool from like a racing drama side. But yeah, I'm not a big modern fan. How was the day for the boys? How'd the team look? What were the vibes like? Philly, cold, rainy. We had some interns out there that were giving me the play-by-play and some other teams. So
Yeah, I
curious,
can't
what was your
believe
perspective?
you had collective experience people there and you weren't even there. You're a terrible boss.
Dude, I'm just so nice with it, and I pick the best teams to work with. That like if I'm indisposed for a weekend, my boys are all just so good as proxies for me. You know, I've got just premier vets like Cade Clason to just just take over for me. Come on,
Nope, not true.
you're not doing
Not
it.
true. I will tell you, dude. Shoot, what is his name? I can't think of his name. The little kid, Moto Academy kid, who was at
Mike and
Cleveland.
Andrew. But
No,
no. Oh, Shake
Cleveland.
and Blake.
Shaken Blake. Yeah,
Yeah,
he had a blast in Cleveland.
yeah.
So I ran into them in the Chipotle on Friday before the race, and he told me
Okay.
what they were doing.
Yep.
And he was like a shadow for the team manager that weekend, basically.
Yeah.
So he was helping. What's their team manager's name?
AJ Whitrock.
AJ at the Storm Lake Honda team.
SLH. Yep.
So that was kind of sick. And
Yeah.
his mom was there with him, but his mom was just there. But like Blake had
Yeah.
a headset on when I saw him, and
Dude, he was running.
I made
running
sure
the show
because
for a little bit.
I told him, I was like, bro, you better make sure you tell Luke he needs to go faster. I don't care if he qualifies fifth. I was like, you tell him he needs to go faster.
You stay on
And
those guys.
sure he did. And Luke didn't know that I knew Blake.
Oh, okay.
So like
Yep.
Blake was getting on him. And I was like, hey,
like
I asked Luke, I was like, hey, how was the little kid? He's like, bro, like he was always telling me to go faster, and I was dying laughing. So
Oh, dude, I love that.
that was cool. So that was
Dude,
cool. Good for them.
Yeah,
But
the kids in our program, dude, they have, and thankfully, the teams that we partner with, like PRMX, SLH, and the rest of them, dude, you guys are always so welcoming of all the kids and all the interns that we have and stuff, and they absolutely love it. But yeah, dude, Blake's a big deal, dude. He's got a following. He knows he's connected, dude. The kid's connected. Yeah, he knows.
but yeah, so our team. Oh, let's see. Chiz hurt his knee in the heat race.
Did he really?
So yeah, he got ninth in the heat race, but I don't know how he dabbed his knee. He did something, and he couldn't walk. So he did like a lap of the main and then pulled off. So that sucks. But then KP rode good in qualifying. Qualified like 17th or something, 16th, and was having an okay start to the day, and rode like an ass in the heat race. I asked him if he crashed, and he said no, because at one point he was in like 15th, and then he was in 18th, and then he started going forward. So he was very upset, and then he showed up for the LCQ, but when he starts in 15th, he ended up fifth, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
so he was depressed, and I know that feeling. KP and I have different ways of expressing our failed results. I am like, I need to go to one of those anger rooms where you can just smash shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are those things called?
Like a panic room or something? Chaos room?
Yeah, something like that, where you just get to go and you get a sledgehammer and you just break shit.
Just break everything.
Yeah. But he is like a sad puppy. Kind of like Hamden, to be honest with you.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah. I don't deal with sad puppy very well. So I bought him an ice cream sandwich on the way back from the race. I don't even think he ate it because he was so sad. But
Poor KP. Such a nice guy, dude.
poor kid. I know.
Poor
So,
KP.
Who else? Luke. I don't honestly know jack shit about what happened to Luke this weekend. I can tell you he didn't make the main, and he was mad about that somewhat. It's. I feel like when you miss the main at a mutter, like you're mad, but then you're a little bit happy
Yeah.
that you don't have to go
You
ride.
know, and all the stuff that Luke's ridden, like, overseas and stuff, I figured he'd be kind of like amped on a mutter. Like, it'd really be like his time to shine, unless I'm just completely
Dude,
off
I
my
don't
rocker
know.
when it comes to what he's ridden. But I feel like, Luke Cloud, that's synonymous with some of the gnarliest, tracks all over the place. And figured he'd be
Yeah,
solid with him.
but I don't think people realize how hard it is to ride a mud race on supercross suspension. I have always wanted to leave a stock set of suspension in the rig for a mudder. Like it's not worth it because like we need those sets of suspension and stuff like that. But dude, like I can't imagine how much easier that track would have been if I would have just been on moto suspension. Like it would have been so much better.
Yeah, I could see that. Less reactive, maybe in a few different areas.
Way
Less
less react,
deflect.
but it wouldn't.
Yeah,
It would just be
wouldn't
way
deflect.
more chill. You'd have
Hmm.
traction in the hard pack and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've
Would
always wanted
you?
to do that.
I wonder if you guys would worry about like, and this is getting super techy with it, but like, like sometimes you get into situations where your rear end just wants to keep packing, 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 and you get like a gnarly rebound, and it wants to like throw you in certain situations. Maybe I'm thinking like crazy braking bumps, high frequency stuff, some whoop sections. You think that would happen with a mud race where you do have some of those gnarly sections, stock suspension, packing, just unloading stuff like that? Do you see that being like an issue?
Well, packing on a supercross track, packing is a different thing because whoops kind of act like braking bumps. Like it's a very different. It's the same feeling, but it's different because okay, on an outdoor track, packing. Say you're going to skim across four whoops, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can see this and it'll make more sense. But like every braking bump you hit, it's going to get a little bit lower. Same thing with like when you hit the whoops, right? So if your shock isn't fast enough, it won't come all the way back up to the high end of the stroke. So it packs, the wheel gets slightly closer to the fender, and then once it has not enough room and it hits one hard, it deflects and does something crazy. That's basically what Dave is referencing. Same thing happens in a whoop section. You don't skim whoops in a mud race, so that negates that problem. Now that where packing will become an issue is like fast transitions. So like if you had to do like a double and you come down into a pocket, like supercross suspension, won't bottom out in a pocket. And even if it's all the way down at the bottom of the pocket, it's unloading before you take off.
Yep.
So that would be my biggest concern. So like before the whoops this weekend,
Yep.
we could go like roll, double, or you could go like 2-2-2-1 or 2-1-2-2, whatever combination you wanted. And the biggest issue with if you had moto suspension would be the faces were so rutted, and we were jumping from 3-footers to 5-footers on both of the doubles. And especially on the second one where you're landing on a 5-footer and then taking off a 3-footer and then landing on another 5-footer, that pocket's going to give you a weird kick. And if you had moto suspension on, it wouldn't react properly and you'd probably endo. So, there's pros and cons to everything. I think the pros of using a moto setup for a mud race on a supercross track far outweigh the cons. But then again, like you watch Kenny in the heat race, that dude was going double on off. He probably could have gone double on off 3 in the first boom section. He was going so fast.
Just gonna say he could pull out the 3 on that last one. But no, he was moving. Another reason why I don't like mud races is I know the mechanics were just cussing about how much they had to get those bikes all prepped, all fresh, and throw away a lot of parts. And good thing that, Partzilla reps the entire team, and they can rep you too. Head to partzilla.com for your OEM and accessory needs. Get your bike looking fresh. It doesn't matter if you're going through a gnarly GNCC, a Supercross mud race, Partzilla has the parts for you. Make sure you head over to partzilla.com, get your bike hooked up and right on track.
Really good. You did great there.
Good. I know.
Really proud of you.
Right? Look at that.
Gosh, you're such a pro.
But no, I almost wanted to text Steven and be like, buddy, I'm just giving you a virtual hug because I know that thing's going to be a gnarly just beast for you to get through.
Yeah.
But no, it was.
Yeah,
it was,
I feel bad for him. It sucks, right? They get the shit end of the stick for that whole scenario. He got lucky because I didn't have to race the LCQ. Bro, when you have to race the heat, LCQ, and the main on a mud race night,
it's awful.
It's brutal.
You remember where was it? San Diego 19 Limegate.
I was still on vacation.
Oh really? Wait, were you east that year?
No, I was on vacation.
Oh, just decided to go on vacation.
Come on, Dave. Think about it.
Oh, okay. Got you.
There we go.
Okay. I forgot that was the year. Sorry. No, dude, it was one of them. I forget all about that, dude.
That's because I'm old.
Well, no, it's because you came back and then did this, whereas everybody else came back and either did this or did that. It was either decline.
He's saying declined. Yeah. You got to remember, not everyone's watching.
Yeah, he's watching. Yeah. So it's either like you came back and you steady progression year after year after year to the point where in 2026 you're still making mains, which is incredibly just stupid. And most people that come back, they either keep constant with the way they were riding or they completely fall off. And we've got, evidence of all three of those scenarios. But yeah, that's why I can't. It still baffles me that that whole thing happened. But yeah, that was 2019 San Diego. Absolute nightmare. And funny story, I actually ended up buying Bowers' bike after that for a steal for me. Probably made it like a bandit for him. But got a pretty sweet deal on the bike, so I can't be too angry. But yeah, if I was in your shoes, dude, I'd be crying the whole race during a mud race. I know that for a fact about myself. I would be KP times 10.
Oh, honestly, dude, it was fine. For a rider. The worst part, the only stress about the whole scenario is goggles, right? Is if my goggles are fine the whole race, if I crash, I'll make the best of it. It's fine. But if your goggles break on the first lap or water gets behind the glue or your roll-offs break or just something stupid that is out of your control, that's the worst part. There's nothing worse than trying to race in the mud and not being able to see. And I ran through scenarios with Steven. I'm like, look, brother, if my goggles are off when I come into the whoops, know that I'm pulling into the mechanics area for goggles. And I told him, I'm like, this is how you put them on. Have them held up facing me. You put them straight onto my face and I'll grab the strap and put the strap on. Yep. Don't hand them to me. Don't let the inside up towards the rein. None of that shit. It is straight on. I grab the strap, put them on.
Done.
It's very specific because if dirt gets on the inside or water gets on the inside, you're fucked.
Done. Yep.
There's no point in stopping. Yep. So, but honestly, Scott goggles, they were great this weekend. I didn't have any issues. Even in my heat race when I was complaining that the mud hit them and I was riding around by myself almost the whole heat race. So, I got pretty lucky. Main event, I ran glue on tear offs, put 21 on. I only used 14. So,
okay.
Big win there.
Not too bad. Okay. But no, it was like I said,
not too bad.
Just to see so many bikes in the leading off with the main PRMX logos on them. I was pretty stoked for 450s. We got some drama to talk about. Yep, some drama. It came by the way of one Ken Roxon.
Oh yeah, I wasn't done talking about the teammates yet. We kind of got off track there. Sorry. Hold on. Let's talk about Hamden first before we talk about Mitchell.
Okay, let's go through Hamden. So we talked to Hamden. How many weeks ago? Can't remember. But you had some good things to say about him. You kind of gave him some words of encouragement. I think you were trying to.
I need a mad Hamden. Hamden was puppy dogging too. I need a mad Hamden. I need a dog.
Basically, what you were saying is you like to see him wake up a little bit and get some of that anger, some of that aggression. Jackson spliced in that scene with Rip Torn and Dodgeball throwing the wrench. Yeah, talk to me about Hamden. Do you see progress from him week after week? Like, do you see some of like that mentorship or whatever advice you're giving him? Do you see it kind of like being implemented out there on the track?
I mean, that fucking kid don't listen to me. To be fair, he doesn't listen to anybody. But when he's mad or like fired up, he rides good. When he's like pouting around the rig, not it. So I can see the two different versions of him. I can see when he's like riding good and not riding good. And like I told him this in the rig one day. I was like, brother, like when we're at Jack's and you're riding, like you're fun to be around. Like you're having a good time, like whatever. He's not always like that at the race. And you know, whatever you got to do to be the best version of you on a Saturday. I think we talked about this when he was on the podcast. That's all that matters. And I don't know if he figured it out this weekend. I'll tell you what. I'll tell the story. I fucking pissed him off this weekend, dude. I did. He told me he wasn't mad, but he was mad. Okay, so here's the storyline. Tear-offs are a scarce commodity. Okay? And especially when you have 6 fucking teammates. So, but the youngsters on the team like to take tear-offs and put them in their own personal stash. So they have laminated tear-offs all the time for themselves to practice, to do all these things. They don't share or are concerned about anybody but themselves. They will all say they don't do that. They do. Okay. We were out of tear-offs in the rig. And I knew one of my teammates, Hamden, had a stack of tear-offs in his goggle bag. And I mean a stack. And I told Julian, I was like, hey, we're out of tear-offs and I have to prep another set. And he's like, I know Hamden has some in his bag. Go take them from Hamden's bag. And I'm like, okay. So I'm in the lounge, whatever. Luke comes upstairs and gets Hamden's goggle bag out of his locker to get some tear-offs. And I was like, oh, did Julian tell you to do that? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. He did tell me to give me 2 stacks. And Kyle's like, hey, I need a stack too. So we all took, I think we ended up taking like 5 stacks of tear-offs. Jeez. So whatever. So prep my goggles. I totally forget about it. He was nowhere to be found at this point in time. I leave. I'm somewhere else. I come back to the rig, and he's in the lounge counting his tear-offs. And he goes, hey, did you take one of my tear-offs? And I said, yeah, I did. Julian told me to because we didn't have any more. And he kind of goes off on me. And I didn't handle it poorly, but I basically told him I didn't fucking care, and I was told to do it. And so we started going back and forth, and at the end of it, he's like, if you would have just asked, I would have given them to you. I was like, that's fine, but it looks bad either way. Should I have asked him? I probably should have. Am I the only one who admitted to taking some? I am. Part of the bag now. Yeah, that's fine. I don't give a shit.
KP's like, listen to this. Like, no, come on, no, please.
Crazy. KP was in the lounge sitting there listening to me get reamed out by Hamden.
Just didn't
And
say anything.
I'm fine. Didn't say a word. Luke's in the back of the rig. Didn't say a word. Neither of them. Neither of them said a fucking word.
Oh, I love
I'm just getting shit on. But like, I'm not gonna lie to the kid. You know what I mean? Like, I'll own it. You know.
That's awesome.
But to be fair, in his defense, he claims that we took his tear-offs that were his that he paid for a long time ago. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, brother, number one, we are supposed to have tear-offs in the rig. Supposed to, apparently. And I was like, so why would you have 1,000 of your own tear-offs in here? And I was like, to be honest, I don't know if he's lying. I don't believe him for a second. I don't. Not even to this moment, I don't. But I went, found the Scott guy, and begged him for tear-offs. And he had to go to the PC truck and get me more tear-offs so I could replace them. And I replaced the tear-offs that everybody took because I think he thinks I took all of them. And if he listens to this, he's going to find out the truth. But I didn't. It wasn't just me. So we did. We got into it in the rig. And I mean, everybody heard it. Like, everybody. And it was fine. Like, I'm not mad at him. I argue with people constantly. And, like, I don't sweat it at all. But he then, just to be clear, he then went and got I think he got 9th. But he rode from the back to the front in his heat race and made the main.
So, I mean, the fact that he rode really good.
To his dad. Hang on. I said it to his dad. I was like, apparently, Hamden and I just need to get into a blowout, and then we both just ride good and make it out of the heat race.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
because me too. You know?
That plus the fact that you actually, returned and gave him more, all of that.
Well, I mean,
it's pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
if I did take something that he paid for, then it's shitty if that's true. But
but you replenished it.
But
you
it
put
is
it,
funny.
you got him hooked up afterwards. So I mean, that's
Yeah, it's
so
fine.
yeah,
So
funny deal.
So yeah, Hamden made the main, first main of the year, second main ever. Good for him. Glad he did it. Can we do it on a weekend when it's dry, please?
He's a ripper, dude. Like people,
dude, he is. He's a good rider.
I know people,
and I just want him to make the fucking main.
People don't know his name that as prevalently as like yourself or Mitchell or KP, but he's a ripper, dude. From what I've seen, the guy can ride a motorcycle. So I'm hopeful that he gets a lot more of these in the future, and hopefully he's gonna have to take Cade Clason stealing your crap to go fast.
Again, it wasn't just me, Dave.
I'm just saying, KP's a stand-up dude, and I feel like, he wouldn't do that, but,
You're wrong. Dude, you want to know something? Want to know a funny story about Mitchell? This fucking guy. Okay, so last year, I come back from being hurt. So I get hurt in Tampa in practice. So when I got hurt in Tampa, I had only worn one pair of goggles. I had 3 pairs of prepped goggles in my locker, a 21 stack and 2 7 stacks.
Okay.
So I had 3 prep pairs of goggles in my locker. I come back to whatever race it was, Pittsburgh or something, maybe Philly. All of my goggles are gone. Every pair of goggles in my locker is gone.
What?
And I'm like, where are these things? And I had them all siliconed, so there was no dirt getting in. They were my goggles. Mitchell didn't feel like prepping goggles one weekend, so he just took all my goggles. Okay. Then another came back at High Point. Didn't race the first 2 outdoors. Came back at High Point. I had no knee socks in the rig. All of my knee socks were gone. Like, brother, who steals another man's knee socks?
Yeah.
So, And then, okay, that was leading me into this story. Earlier this year, I'm in the lounge. So we let the 250 guys usually get dressed first because it's a small lounge. And they get dressed, and Mitchell and I get dressed around the same time because we ride after them. And so I'm up there. I walk up to grab something, and Mitchell's up there, and he's going through all the cabinets. And by all the cabinets, I mean Kyle's, Luke's, Hamden's. And he doesn't go into mine. And I'm like, what are you looking for, bro? And he's like, oh, I need a pair of gloves that match my boots. And I'm just like, are you just going to take somebody's gloves? And he's like, well, I don't have any white gloves. I was like, I have white gloves, Mitchell. Here's a pair of gloves so you can match your stupid boots. And he was just going to hijack somebody's gloves.
Anybody's, yeah.
Anybody's, you know?
You know what we need? We need like a weekly camera set up in the rig just to see like who's the thief of the week or something. Just like call out whoever's stealing whoever's stuff.
Who's stealing whose shit?
Yeah.
I mean, I used to, not anymore because I finally ordered some, but for like 3 weeks, I was stealing some of Mitchell's like wafer bars. I would do like one a weekend, but like, you know, those little like, they used to have them on like American flights. They're like little cookie wafer things.
Yeah.
It's literally just pure sugar.
It's all it is. You know, they use them a lot in cycling.
So,
Yep.
Yeah, those things,
Yep.
whatever they're called.
Good.
They're delicious.
Really good.
I could eat them. I could eat one right now and then go to sleep.
You know what? One thing that I got addicted to at the races
it's a problem.
Jason was buying like Uncrustables for AJ and A-Ray and a few other guys, and dude, they always had a stack of Uncrustables, and I'm pretty sure at Daytona one year we crushed like two complete boxes, and there had to be like at least 40 something, and between like 4 dudes, we just crushed Uncrustables in one day.
That does sound like a snack that you would like, Dave.
It was really good. I'm pretty sure I stole someone's stash.
Anyways,
but it was good.
back to the drama.
Back to the drama. So, everyone saw it. We, while everyone's super stoked on Kenny for, assuming the red plate, it's cool to see, call him one of the old guard, get that. One thing that stuck out, of course, was his words when it came to the lapper situation. And he named some riders by name, and our buddy Mitchell Harrison, PRMX's very own, was named personally. And the comments, some were, encouraging. Majority were a little iffy. So I wanted to get your 2 cents on it. What were you thinking, and have you talked to Mitchell since the whole thing dropped?
I have. It's kind of funny. I don't know if you've seen. Did you see Mitchell's story yesterday?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god!
It was like at a press conference, dude, and everybody cut that clip. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, so Kenny blew Mitchell and Jorge out, but mostly Mitchell.
Mostly Mitchell.
But Mitchell heard about it, and then he went full force. He posted a photo of Hunter Lawrence on the podium when he won, and said, "Let's get this championship," and tagged Hunter like on his story. And then on his weekend recap post, he just like for the caption, he just put "Sorry, Ken Roczen." So Mitchell fed right into it. I didn't see what happened this weekend. They say, I think Kenny's referring to the last lap or the second to last lap. At some point, Mitchell got in his way. I don't know the reference. I will say this: on weekends like this, you can't look back and know where the leaders are going to go. You are a lap down and going so slow. Like you're most likely not in the fast spot anyways. So they're probably just going to ride right around you because you're going so slow. But I will say this weekend's track, you could go almost anywhere and still do the obstacles. So Kenny using the excuse that Mitchell was in his way kind of frustrates me. I think it's more one-lined on a normal weekend because you have to run certain lines to do jumps and stuff like that. Like this weekend, he should have been able to use any line in the rhythm section to go by. Like, I'm not the dude in first. So I know I'm basically like a blind guy telling you how to walk here, but I don't want to just shit on Kenny here, but this is not a good weekend to just harp on lappers, because when I was in like 14th, I started getting the blue flag. Kenny went by, Coop went by, and then I got Prado behind me. Little did I know, I was battling Prado for position. Same thing with Christian Craig. Craig passed me when his teammate lapped me. Joey was in like 6th or something. Joey laps me, and I'm thinking Christian Craig is battling with him. Little did I know, I'm battling with Christian Craig. And pit boards don't work. They aren't things. So, like, who am I supposed to know? Like, it's a huge issue, number one. And that's also why I've said, especially in mud races, first, second, and third should all have leader lights, not just first.
Yeah.
Because it does glow. It does make it a little bit easier to see. Like, if you can glare over in a section or something like that, you can see it. You know, that's a small win. In Kenny's defense, Mitchell is not the best at getting out of the way. I like Mitchell. He's a good friend. I have been in the way many of times. I possibly caused Chase Sexton a win in Atlanta the one year. Cooper Webb jumped into the back of me in Indy one year and crashed when he was battling for a podium spot. It happens. And I've been in the way, so I know like how it feels to be in that situation. Mitchell ain't great at getting out of the way. He's really not. And I just call it how I see it, Mitchell. I'm sorry. I was hard on Vince in Indy. I was hard on Kevin in Indy. If you rewatch some of the races, when you get lapped, sometimes you're in the way. You tend to hover in the wrong area. Now, in Mitchell's defense, you got to be in the race to be in the way. I haven't been there. So if I was in the race more, maybe I'd be in the way more. But this is just what I see. You're not the only one out there that's difficult to get around. But here's the problem. We've talked about this before. And like when you're battling Vince or you're battling Kevin, you better believe that you have to battle with the leaders to not let Vince pass you or Kevin pass you when you're getting lapped, because they will use those guys to your dude. Cleveland last week, I was battling Vince for 16th in, I think, the second main. I had passed him clean, rode away from him, started getting lapped, and it was like it was like there were nobody else on the track but Vince. And he just rode right up to me, was blocking the leaders, passed me, continued blocking the leaders. He ended up getting docked. No, he didn't get docked. He got freaking license points, which I had high hopes for this license point system that they're doing now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. But explain
I fucking get it, because it doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything.
Because Vince has how many at this point for taking people out or lapping situations? I want to know how much Vince has paid in fines this year, to be fair. But it hasn't seemed to do anything.
The license point thing, like, because I've had a few people ask me, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it's XYZ. But then at the end of it, I'm like, but it doesn't really mean anything.
It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything. So, like, there's actually, it's honestly like a tally, basically. It's all it really is. It's a running tally. Who knows? But, I thought it was pretty cool that Mitchell at least kind of played along with the whole, Kenny thing. Let's go Hunter. That's how you're supposed to play it. So didn't really get him down too bad. I was listening to,
and that's what I thought. I was like, I thought it was funny because I don't really.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Sorry,
No,
I thought it was
no, no,
funny
no, no, no.
because I didn't really care.
Yeah, yeah.
Am I delayed?
I
Or
think you
you
are
delayed?
delayed. I think you're delayed, and I'm just catching it because I'm replying in real time as you talk.
That's really weird.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, and then I start talking, and then it's like we're talking at the same time.
Huh. Weird. I wonder
Okay.
how bad we're delayed.
Anyways, yeah, it's weird. Okay. What else you got? You got anything else, Dave Lee? That's really about it. That'll happen this weekend.
That's pretty much it. Looking forward to Denver. I mean, obviously we got some cool stuff happening in the 450 class, but I'm honestly week in and week out, I'm looking for the PRMX boys in the 250 class to see like what's going to happen because I do feel, and I know I'm going to always sound biased to everybody listening, I do feel like PRMX has one of the most talented stacked teams when it comes to the new crop of 250 guys. You throw in vets like KP and like Luke Clout, and it's a powerhouse team. So I'm always looking forward to see how how Hamden's doing, if he's if he's moving up. What's the progression look like week after week? So keep an eye out for those guys on the track as well.
I think Leitzel's riding up 250 this weekend for us.
Oh, is he back riding for you guys?
Well, I think just for 250 West for this round
Okay.
because we don't have anybody.
He's a big guy.
I know he's sharing an Airbnb with me and Mitchell. Yeah. Yeah.
That's gotta be fun.
Yes, he is big.
Shenanigans. Yeah, he's massive on that bike,
Yeah.
man. Big boy. So, but no, I'm so looking forward to it. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to when it comes to Denver Supercross? I always think of Denver as just being insanely cold, maybe a little snowy at this time of the year. But what are you looking forward to when it comes to Denver?
There's no snow in Denver right now. What are you talking about? It's May.
We went 1 year, and at this part of the year we went. It's not May yet. Relax. We went at this time of the year 1 year, and we had snow, and that's how I will always remember Denver in Supercross. Is like you have the potential for it to be freezing and snowing on track walk.
It was one time. It did happen. I think it was the first year they went back.
I think I remember, dude. I was on track walk, freezing.
I wanna say
and
it was
just
19.
swearing. Maybe it was 19.
Yeah.
I was angry.
Yeah, I think it
I was
was.
angry, dude.
Yeah. No, I like Denver. Denver's cool. You always got to be pretty prepared for the altitude, number one. And yeah, that's really about it. Just your bike's going to feel a lot different. So whatever floats your boat.
I feel like it gets dry and like beat up pretty quickly too.
I mean, yeah. They mix a whole shitload of sand into the track trying to get it to hold moisture. So that sucks. There's no press day this time. So it won't get worked in on Friday, which means Saturday is going to be kind of a shit show in practice. So we'll see, I guess. But that's really about it.
Yeah, all right. I'm looking forward to it. Of course, we're going to have this.
Are you coming to any more of these things?
Yeah, I should be at Salt Lake. I think this weekend I fly back to Austin and then Salt Lake next week.
Have you been to Rogan's Comedy Club yet?
No, not yet. We went to the Vulcan last year, but I haven't been this year. But you know what's crazy? Kind of like Nashville. Like sometimes the hole in the wall places are where you're gonna find like some absolute just lethal comics, dude. There's been some like little.
I don't doubt that. Yeah, no,
yeah.
for sure.
Even on 6th Street, like near like Mothership area, dude. There's some that I was hollering, and I love me some comedy, dude. I was like screaming. These guys were so good. But no, I haven't. I still want to go to Kill Tony. I saw him at the airport, doing a couple things, signing some autographs and stuff. But dude, would absolutely love to go there. That'd be great.
Hell yeah!
So yeah, after the season, fly out and let's go to the comedy show, dude. We'll grab Jackson too.
Jackson? What?
Yeah, we'll grab Jackson. We'll have him fly down.
Oh, grab Jackson. Sorry.
Yeah.
Your English is not good.
What do you mean? It is my second language.
Yes. All right. Sounds good. Well, thanks, David.
No problem, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Follow along with Team PRMX. And don't forget, if you guys want to keep your bike or quad or off-road machine looking fresh, head over to partzilla.com. And we have the program running for all of you super fans. The collectivexp.com is where you can pick up your VIP experiences with team riders just like Cade Clason and many, many more. The collectivexp.com at the collectivex on Instagram. Check it out and go cheer the boys on. If you are at Denver, if you're at Salt Lake coming up, come by, grab some freebies, cheer the boys on, get some pictures. It's always a good time around the rig, especially when Cade is not there. You know, he's up for practice. That's when you come by and you get the good vibes, you know. When he's there, you kind of scatter a little bit, do whatever, see the other teams. But when he's not there, all the other riders are so much cooler. So stop by.
Sounds
True
good.
story.
Thanks for that. I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you guys later.
Later.
Later.